In light of the coronavirus crisis that is plaguing the whole world at this moment, and we know there is a sinister agenda behind this whole coronavirus, what can we learn as we are looking at this US dollar bill here? What can we learn from these symbols on this US dollar bill that is closely associated with the coronavirus? But more specifically, this here, if we were to zoom in on this US dollar bill, we see the eye of Lucifer, the Illuminati there, and the words Novus Ordo Seclorum. What do those words mean? Notice carefully what these words mean. This is from the Wikipedia, Novus Ordo Seclorum. The phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum means New Order of the Ages, is the second of two mottos that appear on the reverse or backside of the Great Seal of the United States. In other words, New Order of the Ages means New World Order. Now, what is the relationship between this US dollar and the coronavirus? Well, as we have been looking at, we see how the leaders of this world, they have been calling for a one world order to combat the coronavirus. What if I were to tell you that this coronavirus is very similar to what Nebuchadnezzar did on the plain of Dura, and to invite everyone to worship? What if I were to tell you that there is an hidden agenda behind the name itself, the name coronavirus? You see, the power that be, the Freemasons, the Illuminatis, they always use words, and if you try to decode what they are really saying, chances are you can figure this out by taking that same word, for example, coronavirus, and looking at it backward. For example, this tells us here 10 songs that have hidden messages when played how? In reverse. So they always do something like that. When you play those type of evil music or songs in reverse, then you know exactly who is being worshipped. So when these things are played backward, certain words that the Illuminati use, and you can find a hidden message. Now, what can we find from the word coronavirus? Coronavirus. What is there that we can find? Notice carefully. This is what you find if you were to take the word coronavirus and read it backward. It would say surivim or ark. What do those words mean? Now, I'm going to take you to Google. We're going to copy this here, and then we're going to put it in Google Translate. Let's put it there. Notice what it tells us here. It is a Hindi word or words. When you put it on Google Translate, this is the translation it gives you. Sunrise and I. Where did we find sunrise and I? Let's go back here. This is again the US dollar. If we zoom into it, this is what we have. We have the one seeing eye and the sun, and then again the eye. Remember those words? Novus Ordo Seclorum. So what does coronavirus mean? It means the all-seeing eye or sun worship. It means what again? Sun worship. Again, you read it backward. These are the words surivum or ark, which means sun rise and I. This reminds me of what we read from the book of Daniel, chapter 6. When those men tried to cause Daniel to violate the laws of God by enacting a law that no one should worship any other god than King Darius. We read in chapter 6, Verse 6, then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. For the presidents of the kingdom, notice, the governors, the principals, the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. In other words, at that particular time, no one was able to gather together. Does that sound familiar? To gather together to worship any other god except King Darius. And this coronavirus is a very similar attempt to worship again the sun, as the definition there tells us. The sun rise, the eye, the one seeing eye, which is Lucifer, that is being worshipped. That's the reason why they have put the churches on lockdown. That is the reason why that we are seeing all of these draconian measures, because Lucifer is being worshipped at the moment by keeping everybody on lockdown. Everybody is being conditioned right now to worship the sun. Do you see where we are? Now, the question is, what are we going to do in the matter? Notice what spiritual prophecy says. We have been looking many years for a Sunday law to be enacted in our land. And now that the movement is right upon us, we ask, will our people do their duty in the matter? Can we not assist in lifting the standard and in calling to the front those who have a regard for the religious rights and privileges? The time is fast approaching when those who choose to obey God rather than men will be made to feel the hand of oppression. Shall we then dishonor God by keeping silent while his holy commandments are trodden underfoot? While the Protestant world is by her attitude making concessions to Rome, let us arouse to comprehend the situation and view the contest before us in its true bearings. Let the watchmen now lift up their voice and give the message which is present truth for this time. Let us show people where we are in prophetic history and seek to arouse the spirit of true Protestantism, awakening the world to a sense of the value of the privileges of religious liberty so long enjoyed. What are we going to do in this matter as the whole world is being conditioned to worship Lucifer in the form of this coronavirus? We need to honor God rather than men. We go back to the book of Daniel again. Then after these men came to the king, they said, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. In other words, Daniel did not obey this law. Daniel continued to worship his God. Daniel was doing exactly what Sister White tells us. At such a time as this, we need to lift up the standard, and in calling to the front those who have a regard for their religious rights and privileges. A Sunday law is indeed right upon us. This coronavirus is nothing more than sun worship. One last thing I will share with you, and then you will see exactly how the enemy has deceived the world, as he has done so many times before, to cause many to worship the sun. Notice this is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. The word corona means sun. Notice carefully. Corona, outermost region of the sun's atmosphere, consisting of plasma, hot, ionized gas. It has a temperature of approximately 2 million kelvins and an extremely low density. The corona continually varies in size and shape as it is affected by the sun's magnitude field. The solar wind, which flows gradually outward through the entire solar system, is formed by the expansion of the corona gases and only ends at the heliopause. In other words, brothers and sisters, we are here. What Jesus had prophesied in Matthew chapter 24, verse 15, when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, let him who readeth understand. And what else? Let not those who are in Judea come back to the city, flee to the mountains. That was the counsel. The Sunday law is here. We need to heed the counsel of our loving Savior, Jesus Christ. The Master is on his way. The last test, the final test is here, which is the Sunday law. May we all be found faithful until the appearing of our loving Savior, Jesus Christ. God bless you.